Hello everybody and welcome to section 2.2. We're going to be talking about logic today. Let's first define a couple things. A statement, and for geometry purposes and logic, a statement is any sentence that is either true or false, but not both. Truth value. Anytime you've ever done a true-false question on a quiz or a test, you have assigned the statement a truth value. It's the truth or falsity of a statement. Compound statement. Two or more statements joined together. All right, let's talk about what negation means. Negation, the negation of a statement has the opposite meaning as well as the opposite truth value. So if a statement is true, the negation would be false. If a statement is false, the negation would be true. The negation of positive 3 is negative 3, and so forth. If a statement is represented by P, then not P is the negation of the statement. And there is the symbol for it. It's more like a tilde, and it represents not P. Conjunction. A conjunction is a compound statement formed by joining two or more statements with the word and. So if you see the word and, think conjunction. P and Q, this is how it's read. It looks like the beginnings of a capital A. It's more of a large caret symbol, but it is the symbol for conjunction, meaning the word and. Let's say, for example, statement P, squares have 4 right angles, and statement Q, scalene triangles have 3 congruent sides. Okay, well, if I put that together as a conjunction, squares have 4 right angles and scalene triangles have 3 congruent sides. Disjunction, compound statement formed by joining 2 or more statements with the word or. So associate the word or with disjunction. This is read P or Q. The symbol here looks more like a V, and it is the symbol for disjunction. Statement P, squares have 4 right angles, and again, scalene triangles have 3 congruent sides for our statement Q. We're going to put those together and say P or Q, squares have 4 right angles, or scalene triangles have 3 congruent sides. And that is how disjunctions work. In order for a conjunction to be true, both P and Q must be true. So let's look at our statements again. Squares have 4 right angles, that's true. Scalene triangles have 3 congruent sides, that is false. If I said the conjunction and said them both together, the entire statement would be false. In order for a disjunction to be true, only P or Q must be true. Squares have 4 right angles, true. Scalene triangles have 3 congruent sides, false. But if I say them together as a disjunction, squares have 4 right angles or scalene triangles have 3 congruent sides, that is true, because a disjunction, both statements don't have to be true. Okay, just a little quick review of Venn diagrams, because and or statements are used with these. Okay, look at this first Venn diagram. Students in academic clubs and athletics. If I ask the question, how many were in academics or athletics? The word or means one or the other, or both at the same time. We would add these numbers together, 51, 19, and 116 gets 186. If I ask the question, how many were in both academics and athletics, not or, it would just be the ones that are in both, as we can see right here. And you can just imagine questions that could be asked with this Venn diagram of students who like rock, rap, or country. Should I ask the question, which students like rock or country? I would add up all of the numbers in both, but not the 16 here for rap. If I ask the question, how many like rock and country? I would add these two numbers, the 8 and 17, since they're both shared by both rock and country.